What if the dream you're chasing is quietly draining your net worth? Since childhood, we've been handed a script. Rent is wasted money, owning is adulthood, and a mortgage is the gateway to wealth. But who wrote that script, and who profits from you believing it? We feel embarrassed renting at 30, pressured at 35, panicked at 40. So we stretch our budgets, max out our debt, and call it responsible because it comes with a set of house keys. But what if buying a home today isn't a wealth strategy, it's a lifestyle purchase disguised as an investment? Let's flip the question. What does throwing money away actually mean? When you rent, you pay for shelter, and the money is gone. Simple, visible, honest. When you buy, you're told your payment builds equity, but in the early years of a 30-year mortgage, 70 to 80% of that payment is interest going straight to the bank. You're not paying yourself, you're renting money from the bank. Add property taxes, insurance, maintenance, repairs, and transaction fees, and suddenly ownership has its own version of rent, just paid to the bank, the government, and contractors instead of a landlord. These are unrecoverable costs, money that never builds equity and never comes back. So how do you decide rationally instead of emotionally? Look at the price-to-rent ratio. Divide the home price by the annual rent of a similar property. If a $500,000 home rents for $24,000 per year, the ratio is about 20. And historically, once that number moves above 20, renting often makes more financial sense. In many major cities, that ratio sits at 25 or 30. The math isn't whispering, it's screaming. But here's the invisible trap nobody talks about at dinner parties, the down payment. That $100,000 you lock into a house could have been invested in diversified assets compounding at 7 to 10% per year. Instead of growing liquid and flexible, your money becomes trapped in drywall and concrete, and liquidity matters. If a better job appears in another city with a $50,000 raise, a renter can move in 30 days. A homeowner must sell, stage, negotiate, and pay massive fees. Buying a home can anchor you to a location, while renting buys you optionality. And in a volatile economy, optionality has value. Yes, mortgages can be fixed while rent rises, but taxes rise, insurance rises, maintenance rises, and inflation touches everything. Meanwhile, disciplined renters investing the difference may see their portfolios outpace rent increases over time. There's also something no spreadsheet captures: stress. Home ownership is a part-time job, repairs, surprises, mental load, while renting outsources that responsibility. Time is an asset too. I'm not saying never buy. I'm saying stop treating it as a guaranteed wealth machine. A primary residence is a consumption choice first and an investment second, sometimes a very distant second. Wealth is built by owning income-producing assets, stocks, businesses, bonds, things that pay you. A house is something you pay. So, before you sign a 30-year commitment, because that's what adults do, run the numbers, check the ratio, calculate the unrecoverable costs, and ask yourself, is this freedom or pressure? If this video challenged what you thought you knew about renting versus buying, subscribe and let's build wealth based on math, not myths.